Our scripture lessons today are from Job 1, verses 20 through 22, which you will find on page 493 of the Pew Bible, and from the Gospel according to John, chapter 20, verses 1 through 16, on page 1052 of the Pew Bible. As Job was relaxing contentedly on his veranda, as we golden oldies often do, he was startled by a messenger. "The Sabaeans have killed your field workers and carried away your oxen and donkeys. I am the only one who has escaped." While he was speaking, yet another messenger came. "The fire of God has burned up all of your sheep and shepherds. I'm the only one who has escaped." While he was speaking, another messenger came. "The Chaldeans have carried away all your camels. I am the only one who has escaped." While he was still speaking, another messenger came. "A mighty wind blew in the desert, and your eldest son's home has collapsed on all your sons and daughters who were feasting inside. I'm the only one who has escaped." Now listen to the word of the Lord from Job 1, 20 to 22. At this, Job got up and tore his robe and shaved his head, and then he fell to the ground in worship and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. Now, centuries later, it's morning after the long Sabbath following the crucifixion, the Sabbath which had kept the women from completing the preparation of Jesus' body for burial. From John's Gospel, chapter 20, verses 1 through 16. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. So she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved, and said, "They've taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they've taken him." So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but he didn't go in. Then Simon Peter, who was behind him, arrived and went into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the burial cloth that had been around Jesus' head. The cloth was folded up by itself, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple who had reached the tomb first also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from Scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Then the disciples went back to their homes, but Mary stood outside the tomb crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and one at the foot. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "Taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't realize that it was Jesus. "Woman," he said, "why are you crying? Who is it that you're looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you've carried him away, tell me where you've put him, and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." This is the word of the Lord.